Hello, and welcome to Title Talk for the week of October 1st, 2018. We have a few books for you that we'll be releasing this week. Here is a new fiction book by Tracy Peterson called In Times Gone By, as you might guess. It is a historical novel, and it's also a romance. It says, after getting left at the altar, Kenzie Gifford flees to San Francisco to start her life over, determined never to love again. She's made new friends and has a good job in the office of her cousin's chocolate factory. The only thorn in her side is Dr. Micah Fisher, who insists on pursuing her despite her constant resistance. And guess what happens? Then the great earthquake of 1906 strikes the city and everything changes. In Times Gone By Tracy Peterson. Kate Atkinson, her new novel is called Transcription. And this is in 1940, 18-year-old Juliet Armstrong is reluctantly recruited into the world of espionage, sent to an obscure department of MI5, tasked with monitoring the comings and goings of British fascist sympathizers. She discovers the work to be by turns tedious and terrifying. But after the war has ended, she presumes the events of these years have been relegated to the past forever. Well, fast forward 10 years, and Juliet is unexpectedly confronted by figures from her past. Juliet, and by Kate Atkinson, and the name is Transcription. We have a new science fiction book by Alan Dean Foster called Relic. Relic is a thrilling and thoughtful epic with Alan Dean Foster's trademark invention in both the psychology and physiology of his aliens. He also enriches the narrative with their complex cultures. If you like science fiction, you'll undoubtedly want to read that one. Clive Cussler also has a new one co-written with Boyd Morrison called Shadow Tyrants. Nearly 2,000 years ago, an Eastern emperor charged a small group with safe-keeping secrets powerful enough to change the fate of mankind. They went down in legend as the 9 Unknown Men, and now 2 rival factions of their descendants are fighting a mighty battle. Both sides think they are saving the world, but their tactics could very well bring about the collapse of society. Soon, Juan Cabrillo and his team of expert operatives aboard the Oregon find themselves trapped between 2 power-hungry adversaries, both of whom are willing to use shocking means to accomplish their goals. Shadow Tyrants, Clive Cussler. And finally, a new novel by Easy Edugian, pardon me, Ms. Edugian, for the slaughter of your name. But this is a book called Washington Black. This book was excerpted last week on dearreader.com, one of their online book clubs. If you have not checked out our online book clubs, I once again encourage you to do so, because you can really get the lowdown by reading just a brief excerpt every day of some of these books. Some are new, some have been around for a while. This is about an 11-year-old field slave in Barbados named George Washington Black, nicknamed Wash. And he is terrified to be chosen by his master's brother as a manservant because he's only been in the field. But to his surprise, the eccentric Christopher Wilde turns out to be a naturalist, explorer, inventor, and abolitionist. Soon, Wash is initiated into a world where a flying machine can carry a man across the sky, where even a boy born in chains may embrace a life of dignity and meaning, and where 2 people separated by an impossible divide can begin to see each other as human. But soon Wash is accused of a murder and they have to flee for their lives, and the rest of it, I think, is their adventure in trying to stay alive. Here is a large print book, Caught by Surprise by Jen Turano. Here's the scoop on it. Miss Temperance Flowerdew. I just have to love that name. Miss Temperance Flowerdew is on her way to work when a stranger grabs her off the street and puts her on a Chicago-bound train before she can figure out what happened. Called upon to rescue a missing woman, Mr. Gilbert Cavendish follows the trail to Chicago, only to discover that the woman is his good friend Temperance. Before they can determine who was behind the abduction, they're seen alone together by a New York society matron. With both of their reputations at risk, Gilbert is willing to propose marriage. Temperance will have none of it. So, to find out what happened here, Caught by Surprise, Jen Toronto, a large print romance book, which will be shelved in the new section of large print books. And then 3 nonfiction books to mention. The first one is called Adorable Palm Animals. Really cute and realistic looking animals, and I did promise my husband I would show the picture of the poodle puppy. We have a poodle boy who loves my husband very much. On the next page then there is a cute miniature schnauzer puppy. These are from a Japanese artist named Kazuko Ito, and they're just adorable. That is at $745.5, also on the new bookshelf. The Last Palace, Europe's Turbulent Century in 5 Lives and 1 Legendary House. This house is in Prague, Eastern Europe, and when Norman Eisen moved into the U.S. ambassador's residence in Prague, returning to the land where his mother had fled after the Holocaust, he was startled to discover swastikas hidden beneath the furniture. These symbols of Nazi Germany were remnants of the palace's forgotten history and evidence that we never live from the past. This takes the palace from when it was built after World War I through the 5 residents who lived there, one of whom was Shirley Temple Black. So, I thought it looked very interesting. The call number is 943.71 EIS. 943.71, The Last Palace. And finally today, Betty Ford, First Lady, Advocate, Survivor, Trailblazer. The author is Lisa McCubbin, and there is a foreword by Betty Ford's daughter, Susan Ford Bales. As you can guess, it's a biography of Betty Ford. Kirkus Review said a warmly sympathetic biography of a spirited woman, while Booklist said this timely biography of Betty Ford will introduce her to millennials and remind others of her importance in championing equal rights for women and speaking out on breast cancer, abortion, depression, and addiction. Betty Ford, her call number is a long one, 973.925092. And it will be, of course, in the new book section. So happy reading. Beginning on Monday, October 1st, the new copies of Book Page will be out. I encourage you to stop by and pick one up. See you next time.